Welcome everybody to another fantastic episode of the Cemetery Files.
And our
It
guest
is,
just arrived.
and our guest arrived, so we'll
Yes,
get her
she's
on here in
here.
just a minute.
Yeah.
First off, we are glad that everybody's tuning in or just starting to tune in. This is our episode number 15.
15.
Yeah, we're 15 in already. I can't believe it. It's been
I
quite
can't
amazing.
either. I can't
We've
either. I
had some
cannot believe it.
investigations. We've had some great guests so far. I think summer is almost over. Excuse me. So you know, we're looking forward to our next ventures. We have
Yeah.
an investigation coming next week at the Rock Island Haunted YMCA, and that's actually where we're going to be doing our event of our Paracon that's
Yes.
there. And we will be speaking, and we will have a booth, and we will chit chat, and we will have fun.
I can't wait.
So
I cannot wait.
yeah,
I'm looking
it's gonna
so
be
much.
it's gonna be so exciting. Yeah, there's
I
so many people there.
yeah. I look at the Paracons as being a whole networking event, and it's just I love it. I love
Right.
networking with people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool.
Talking about all
So,
the paranormal shit.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it just meeting people and just hanging out and
Yeah. Having a
yeah,
good time.
it's a good time.
Yeah.
So, let me see. Anything we want to just talk about quickly besides that?
I need it. Okay, so I know that this reaches many people, so I'm going to announce it here. I need an Alaska paranormal team to contact me. So if there's an Alaska team that hears this, get a hold of me on Facebook or message us through here, because I've got a family friend that is experiencing some really serious events. So I'm looking
Okay.
for a team that'll take that case for me.
Okay.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. And for today, you can find us on all Facebook outlets. You can also find us on YouTube. You can find us slowly but surely starting to be on Ghost Planet Network and on Roku.
Big gig.
Yeah. We should have another episode coming up soon. He's really busy, and I know that he's got a lot of different shows that he's uploading, so it just takes a little bit of time, which is fine. So hopefully, I asked him to upload the one with David Taylor.
Yeah, that was a great
that
interview.
that was so fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
I loved it. That and Barry.
I screwed
Of
up
course,
so bad.
my heart's always for Barry. So.
No. So.
Although
But
I have a chance to meet Josh Gates, so he might take over Barry's position.
There you go. All right, so let's get our guest on.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Here she comes. There she is. Hey, Christy, how you doing?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me today.
Oh gosh, it's so great to have you on. I love it.
Yep. Thank you very much for coming on. It's been kind of a crazy summer. So I mean, there's a lot of events and a lot of things that have been going on. So we're glad to have you on the show. And for my listeners and for my guests, go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Soul Sisters Paranormal. It's an all-female paranormal investigation team that I formed in 2013 with my sisters and a couple family friends. So we've investigated over 36 of the most reportedly haunted locations in the U.S. Since 2013. In 2021, my business partner, Miranda Young, and I, we actually opened the historic Scott County Jail here in Huntsville, Tennessee, which is where I'm at right now. I'm actually sitting in our visitation room. So
lovely.
I apologize if the audio isn't that great.
You're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and we've really done some really cool things here at the historic Scott County Jail. We were just ranked as one of the top 5 haunted locations in the state of Tennessee, so that's very exciting. And we're moving on with some different events and such through the remainder of this year and moving into next year. So a lot of stuff going on, but basically, like I said, I'm the founder of Soul Sisters and the co-owner of the historic Scott County Jail.
and produces some of the most fabulous photos of Gettysburg that I've ever seen. You
Oh.
and
Yeah.
Miranda,
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah.
and Miranda
Right.
took some of the best photos. Oh gosh.
Wow. Well,
And
thank you.
historic Scott County Jail went straight up to my top 3 list when somebody caught that ectomist on the outside of the prison.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
was awesome.
It was, and we tried to debunk that afterwards. I mean, we verified with them that they were not smoking. Nobody was smoking. You can see that the trail is extremely long. It almost goes from the back of the building to the corner of the building. It was definitely something that we could not explain or debunk. It was just something that really kind of blew our minds. But that's how the jail is, right? It's one of those locations that it's completely active and doesn't matter day, night, morning, afternoon, there's something that happens here at the jail.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's really cool.
Mhm.
And Sally's
So-
doing okay after she got locked in the gift shop.
Yeah, Sally's fantastic. She's our little mascot, Sally the jail cat. We actually just introduced her new line of t-shirts. Yeah, so they went on sale 2 days ago, and we've had a
Cool.
great demand for those already. But yeah, Sally is amazing. She is the greatest little thing that has happened.
I loved
to
how
this
she
jail.
around after she got put into the. Now, if you've not seen the video, you've got to go over to historic Scott County Jail, because Sally gets put into the gift shop and the door is closed. And I love her response. She's like, "The hell?"
Yeah.
It was so awesome. I loved it.
When we play it for guests, they all are like, "Oh, poor thing, she's sad," and I'm like, "No, she's not sad. She's pissed. That's her.
Right.
That's her
She
pissed
was.
meow, not her sad meow."
Right.
So she definitely was vocal at that point, and it's just an amazing piece of evidence. For those of you who don't know or have not been here, the jail is 3 stories. And so we keep her on the bottom level, and our gift shop is on the bottom level. And it used to be a former cell, and it has a big steel door. And she's an 11-pound cat. But we keep that door shut because it's our gift shop, and we don't want her laying on our merchandise. Get Sally hair all over it. So about 5 o'clock in the morning.
You have to charge extra for that, by the way.
Yeah. Soon we're gonna have a Sally sale with all the hair that's around here, but. So we keep her out of the gift shop, and so we have that door closed. And about 5 o'clock on a Thursday morning, you see the door open a little bit, and then it opens a little bit more, and finally it opens about halfway, and something shoves her in. And there's a couple of interesting things about it. One, obviously, that the door is opening on its own. The second one is, if you watch it, you hear the reverberation of the doors closing each time, except that last time. It's like something slams it and holds it so it doesn't reverberate. And then if you listen closely, we're going to re-release it with captions. But if you listen closely, just before the door opens for the 3rd time, you'll hear a male EVP.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty fascinating. Yeah, somebody pointed it out to us, and when we enhance the volume, you can definitely hear it.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah, we'll be re-releasing that. But if you want to go back and listen to it just before the 3rd door opens, you'll hear it.
That is
wow.
awesome.
So where exactly is this jail located?
So we're in East Tennessee in Scott County. We're about 45 minutes northwest of Knoxville. So right up I-75 out of Knoxville, there's an exit to Huntsville, and you just get off on that exit and come on into town, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
How far is that from you, Kelly?
From me, I think it's an hour, if I'm not mistaken. About an hour from Portland.
I believe so. I'm not
I
sure
think it's about an hour. Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet. It's on my list.
So Kris, what really kind of got you into the paranormal? I mean, what was it, something that happened to you when you were younger, or even when you're older, or was it just?
Actually, I never had a paranormal experience growing up. My sisters and I, we come from a very research-minded background. Our family really encouraged research and creative thinking and analytical thinking. And so we would watch the television shows of the time, Tabs, ghost adventures and such.
Mm-hmm.
And we always said to ourselves, while they're in these locations, these investigators, why aren't they asking this question, or why aren't they using this technique, or why did they stay longer here? And so we always said if we had the opportunity to go on a paranormal investigation, we'd jump at that chance. So in 2013, we were actually taking a girls' trip, my sisters and I, up to Moundsville, West Virginia, which is where my mom is actually from. And my grandpa was a prison guard at the West Virginia State Penitentiary. And we had a family friend that sat on the board of that facility at the time. And he said, you know, while you're in Moundsville, why don't you just take one of your nights and stay at the penitentiary and see if you can connect with our spirits? And so we did. You know, we stopped by Walmart on our way up. We grabbed some voice recorders and
Nice.
a little kid's toy that you know it was a night vision kid's toy that was in the science section of Walmart. And so that's what we took on the investigation with us. It was very rudimentary, not a whole lot of thought into trigger items or anything. We just wanted to have the experience. And when we went in there, the things that we were experiencing that night were to us unexplainable. Footsteps, door slams, disembodied voices when we know that there was nobody else in the area, things that we were capturing on our voice recorders. And that really solidified the fact that we wanted to do this and really delve into both the historical perspective of the locations that we get to visit, but also the unexplained, and see if we can, you know, couple that with that historic narrative and try to come up with a rational explanation of why these things are occurring. And, you know, it's been an amazing journey ever since. It really was something that it was just going to be my sisters and I and a couple family friends, soul sisters. We did decide on a team because we wanted to kind of professionalize it as much as we could. So we came up with Soul Sisters. We got our theme music and our logo and all of that, but it was never designed to go really as big as it has gotten. You know, a lot of people.
You are one of the bigger groups in Tennessee. And even though you are small, you're one of the well-known ones out there. Yeah.
Well, thank you. But it's the support of all the people that are over here right now, you know, RKB Paranormal, Damien and his group, and Candace and Vicky and all the people that are watching. You know, we just really wanted to put out documentary videos that really highlight the historical narrative of these locations. And then, like I said, couple that with anything unexplainable that we could find when we controlled for all of the other environmental factors. What we were left with was the unexplainable, and that's what we wanted to showcase. And you know, just I guess through word of mouth or whatever, people just started kind of finding us, and that's how I met Ghost Biker, Miranda Young from Ghost Biker. We became friends about 6 years ago now, and then that led us into where we are today at the historic Scott County Jail.
Now you got something going on the side there with rugby.
We do, yeah. So
that's exciting.
You know, once we started this business, because we started a business called History, Highways, and Haunts LLC, and the jail is our headquarters, and this is obviously the main jewel in our business right now. But we always knew that we wanted to expand and really help other businesses or locations understand that paranormal tourism right now is hot, and it can bring revenue to these historic locations and actually provide them with those funds to maintain. And so rugby, just one second, rugby, it was established in 1880, and they have an amazing history, and they do amazing things during the day, but at night, their buildings aren't working for them. And so we went to them and said, listen, this is what we can do for you. We can help you do this. And they fell in love with our idea, and we just have an amazing partnership. The leadership of Historic Rugby LLC, or Historic Rugby Inc., and the villagers of Rugby, they're just great people. It's a great partnership. So we're having a lot of fun with it.
That is incredible.
Yeah, connecting with people, you know, connecting with people, especially that are willing to, accept that and your plan and your idea and stuff. I mean, that's awesome. So
we go ahead. Okay, well, we had connected earlier. You were doing some research with regards to locations. Are you going to be presenting that data at any location or at any time, or or is it out yet? Or
Yeah, so that is something that I am working on and putting together. It's a multi-year study, and so I did
okay,
it last year. What I did was I sent a survey out to paranormal investigators as well as location owners, really to gauge where the revenue is coming from, how much paranormal investigators are spending, are historic locations receptive to paranormal investigators. So it's a multi-year study, and it was originally designed to be presented at the University of Arkansas.
oh, nice.
I did a conference with them and at their Delta Symposium. So I presented it last year at the University of Arkansas, and and I wanted to revamp it this year. So, like I said, it's a multi-year study, and it is something that I will be hopefully publishing here. There's a couple of conferences that I've applied to be a speaker at with that data.
Nice.
So they'll be making that decision. So hopefully next year I'll be going to several different conferences and conventions talking about that data and really helping historic locations understand that paranormal tourism is something that can benefit them.
Yeah.
So, what was the reception from the university? I mean, at first, I mean, what were they gauging that, the ideas that you had, and what you were saying with the data and everything? How did they respond to that?
Oh, it was very well received. Very well received.
Okay.
So, like I said, it was a whole symposium talking about hauntings in the southeast and some different and how that can really be manifested again into revenue dollars.
Mhm.
And so it was something that was very well received. And then when I saw that there was an interest in this from locations, it's something that I wanted to take a little bit further and make it, like I said, a multi-year study because obviously the COVID years really kind of messed with a lot of stuff
Yeah. Yeah.
with regard to travel, obviously.
Mhm.
But what was interesting is that the locations that I interviewed that year said that paranormal investigators allowed them to keep the lights on, right? They couldn't have daytime tours because of the COVID restrictions,
Mhm.
but they could allow after dark events in regard to paranormal investigators. And so that to me was fantastic and fascinating at the same time, because even though the general public wasn't allowed in, paranormal investigators, by our very nature, I mean, we go into locations that aren't that great, but we put the money into that, right? So
Right. Right.
it's just one of those things that I was fascinated to find, and very I think locations were very fortunate that paranormal investigators were willing to travel and willing to spend money even during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, I think
So
we're
you
just
could
a
yeah. I
I
was
think we're
just
just
gonna say,
underutilized.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that, I mean, doing something as great as that, and like you said, that research is very important in that aspect, because there's a lot of paranormal teams that don't realize the cost and, the time that, really is involved in doing what we do, and
Mhm.
the love of what we do,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and if somebody like you can put that out and say, hey, here's kind of like the blueprint of this whole thing, I mean, it's just people who are just getting into it would probably utilize that very
Mhm.
much, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
I think it has aspects and that can be attributed to a lot of different things, obviously, and I think that's what I want to do. That's why I want to present at these conferences, not just paracons or paranormal conferences, but
Right.
some different historical preservation conferences as well, and that's what I've
Mhm.
applied for. But you know. I don't think it's very different being a location owner than obviously just a paranormal investigator.
Right.
What was really great about what Miranda and I were able to do is most locations open because somebody thinks, oh, I can capitalize on paranormal tourism. I can capitalize on this trend. But what we were able to do is because we've already been immersed in it for decades, we
Mhm.
knew
Mhm.
what paranormal investigators wanted. We knew what they needed to have a great paranormal experience here. Where the electrical outlets are, that we have clean bathrooms, that we have access to the history and the archives here as well. All of these things we were able to use our paranormal investigation background to help us succeed here as a business. And that's what we want to bring it to other locations. Just say, hey, you just don't think about this. You've got to think about everything that paranormal investigators need. Where are they going to stay? So we have, a list of locations you can stay at. Where are you going to eat? We have a list of locations you can eat at. Everything that's encompassed in that. And that's really what we wanted to do. The positive and the negative, right? So a lot of people don't understand that, when we allow, or if locations allow YouTubers or TikTokers to go in and say this place is demonic and all this other stuff, and put this negative connotation on it, and then they leave, that location is now stuck with that reputation.
Right.
And so you've got to balance that out. And that's why here at the Historic Scott County Jail, we absolutely do not allow anybody to say that this location has a demonic entity or any demonic connotation to it at all. You sign a waiver that you understand that we will sue you.
Yep.
We have
it's a business, and that is all a part of keeping your business safe. And a lot of people don't realize how much business is involved in having a location.
Absolutely. And one of my friends, Ronnie D, he owns the historic Harriman Hospital, and great location. And we've talked about this a lot. And when certain people went into his location, he got phone calls at 2 or 3 in the morning saying, is your location really haunted? And people don't understand that they're interrupting the business side of that. And our business is to keep this location running and the lights on and operational for future generations. And so you really have to look at all of that and all of the other aspects of it. And so that's what we really wanted to do with really looking at historic tourism and paranormal tourism. And that's where our main focus has been.
Now, let me ask you, what do you think that I think that there's been an uptick of people who are buying properties and who are claiming that there's haunting, and then they're kind of like turning it into a business. I think that in the last probably year or so, I think that there's been a lot more people that are, constantly, saying, oh, this place is haunted and this place, and then they charge astronomical amount of money. I mean, do you think that is kind of like a trend now? I mean, is this kind of,
I think so. And I think we see it more because we're immersed in it. So when a new location opens or something, because we're in the community, we're obviously hearing it. So I think to us, it's extremely prevalent right now. If you just ask some Joe on the street, they might not really connect with that more places are opening. But I think from what we're seeing, I think yes. But like I said, for us, and I'm not saying that what we've done is the right way. It's a way, right? That we've done it, that we've been very successful with, and it's something that we want to take that model and help other locations. Because it is something that, like I said, that for us we're very passionate about. One, the historic preservation. Because I mean, if you look at what we've done. And Miranda, she's got an amazing background in graphic design and marketing. And so when we came together, I mean, we talked about for probably about 4 or 5 months before we even approached the town of Huntsville with our idea. We sat together and we made a business plan. We had everything in line with what we wanted our graphics to look like, what our color scheme was going to be, everything from our gift shop merchandise. We knew all of that even before we knew that we were going to be able to do this. And so she put together a great marketing plan for us and a great graphics plan. So if you look at what we do, if you're just somebody coming to our website for the first time, you'll see history. And history is the driving part behind everything. And even though the paranormal is the economic engine, the paranormal is what runs it. And so, having her have that background to be able to do that, not many places have that. So we've definitely have that resource in what she is capable of doing, and it works. And like I said, that's what we want to help other locations. And that's why Rugby was so enthusiastic to work with us. Because we came at them and said, this is what we can do for you. This is what we've done at the jail. This is what we can do for you. And I think other people are responding to that as well.
You weren't a bunch of lunatics coming and saying, let's a ghost hunt.
Well, right. And you're right. So when we talked to the mayor of the town here, they had been approached by other places, other
Mm-hmm.
teams before, and it was that sort of approach. But like I said, we took it from a different angle, and it really works for us. Like I said, I've been very fortunate to have Miranda as my business partner with this, because I think her skills in marketing, graphic design, and advertising, and all of that, really coupled with my kind of business sense, if you will, it really makes a good team. And I don't think a lot of locations are as fortunate to have such a great business partner as I have, and it works well with what we've been doing.
She's
Mhm.
Oh,
echoing you.
hey. And I see Vicky over here.
You two together are so special. I love it. I just
Well,
Yeah.
absolutely love
it's
your
just,
energies.
well, thank you. It's just one of those things, like I said, that we were very fortunate to, and it is like people like I said, Vicky and Candace and Damien and you guys and everybody who's kind of recognized what we've done. It's a testament to y'all as well, to help us get this up and running and help us maintain it and get the
Mhm.
word out that we're open. So
Oh
And
yeah,
and
we're
really changing the
yeah,
face of the paranormal. I mean,
right,
really.
and we're totally in support of that. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, it's like a kind of like a positive, antidote to this, some of this stuff that's been going on with the drama and all
mhm,
this other, just
Hmm.
the negativity. It's, if people could see this blueprint basically and just be like, let's follow this plan, let's do it the way that it should be done. And
mhm.
these,
Hmm.
it's just like it's not that hard, people. I
Well,
mean,
It's
it's
really
just
not.
it's not
it's not in design. Execution, again, you do have to have the drive to do it.
right,
I'm,
right.
Miranda and I, this is not something that's going to make you $1 million. I mean, you're not going to have
Right, right.
a
If
yacht.
you're in the business to make $1 million, you're in
Exactly.
the
And so,
wrong business.
and that's what people have to realize, so you really have to sit down and look at this. I mean, it's great to say you have a haunted location and to run it, but if you're really, I mean, it's multifaceted. It really is. I mean, we knew going in that it would be, but to the extent that it is, we're still learning on a daily basis. I mean, for example, just the Selly comment that you made, right?
Hmm.
Who knew that a cat could do so much for us? But
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
one, she's awesome and we love her, but to be able to take that and use it as a marketing tool,
Right,
it's
right.
something that's worked really well for us. So we're learning as we go, and it is a lot of fun, but it is a lot of hard work. I mean, Miranda and I never knew I'd spend so much time in jail.
Right, right.
I
Yeah,
love
so
it.
I mean, being able to do what you love to do is one thing, but I mean, when you have a business behind it and you know that it's fun and it's exciting and everything, but when it comes down to brass tacks, I mean, it's a business,
Mhm,
and you're trying your best to run your business,
mhm.
and I think that there's so many different places now that are trying to do that, and there's some that are struggling to do that. And I think that your plan of doing this research, I think more or less will help some of these people who are
And
struggling.
that and that's what our, yeah, and thank you for saying that, Jay. I mean, that's what our hope is it is really, because when you look at it, just going down to the barest level, it is about preserving these locations,
Hmm.
right? I
Hmm.
mean, this jail sat vacant since 2008, before we came here in 2021. And there were actually talks about maybe not having it ever open again, that it just needs to kind of be demolished. And so for us to be able to help save that, that is absolutely the driving factor. Um,
Hmm.
and that's what we want to do. And so that's why, when we formed our business, History Highways and Haunts LLC, it's named that for that reason, right? We want to be able to go on the road and help other locations as well. So, but don't get me wrong. I mean, I know it's funny, but when we walked in here the first time, I prayed. I'm like, please God, let this be haunted. And I
Oh.
know it sounds weird. I know it sounds weird to be praying for hauntings, but it is something that, I mean, that was something that obviously has to happen. And you don't want to create hauntings, or create fake hauntings, in a location
Hmm.
just to say it's haunted. But I can honestly say that this little jail, the spirits love to talk.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I can't wait to get in there.
No,
That's
we'd love to
just,
have you.
oh. Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely. Oh, he always disappears on me. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely get out there. If not by the end of the year, it'll be the first part of the year.
Oh, great.
Let's see, what else was it that you had going on? You had some other projects on the back end.
Oh, Kelly, we have a lot.
I just love the part that you are looking at it as a business. And that's the one thing that a lot of people don't look at, is how much energy actually goes into it if you're serious about connecting history with the paranormal.
Mhm.
And I had a foundation at one time, and I keep getting encouraged to reopen it. It was called Historic Rescue. And it was basically a resource center for people that needed to do repairs to historic locations,
Mhm.
to vendors that would be able to supply different things like roofing, siding,
Oh, well.
historic elements, things like that. And at the time, I was connected with a bunch of contractors. So I
Mhm.
would love to have those contacts again to reopen Historic Rescue and help locations with actual vendors that
Mhm.
will get them the services that they need.
Mhm.
But yeah, it'd be great. And people don't realize what risk there is in opening a location up to the public.
Oh, yeah.
You've got so much risk and liability. There was one location I was looking at, and I actually turned them down because they wanted to fast track it. And I looked at it and said, if a spirit can make you sick, imagine a spirit making 20 people sick and they all sue you. You know?
Yeah, we really didn't think about, I mean, obviously it's on our minds, but
Hmm.
I'm more worried about somebody falling down our stairs. I mean,
Right.
you know, and again, that's something that you have to think about.
Yeah.
It's all of that. It's from, and Miranda and I say this all the time. We're everything from the janitors. We now know a lot about old plumbing.
Oh wow.
I bet.
Everything from the janitors to the CEOs and marketing executives and decision makers for everything that we do.
So
Um,
you actually own the building, or
we
no?
don't. No,
You
we
don't.
don't.
Okay,
So
but you
we
do all the
we
maintenance and all that for it and
yeah.
everything?
So we lease the building from the town of Huntsville.
Mhm.
They maintain the roof and the air conditioning unit and such, and they definitely do help us with repairs. But when you've got a team of 10 ladies in here and the water burst at 12 in the morning, there's not a whole lot of people you can call. So crawling
Right.
under crawl spaces has become the norm around here. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so the town of Huntsville owns the jail. We just lease it from them, but we take all of the risk and the liability, and we pay all the utilities. We actually pay a rent, so that goes back into the town. Yeah, that's how our lease is set up.
That is really
It's a
great.
win-win for you.
It
It
is
is.
an absolute
That's
win-win.
It is.
Yeah.
Uh,
right.
as
Right.
Miranda
So
says, a lot of stories gone into
how
it.
often do you get out to go investigate yourself?
Well, that has actually diminished just a little bit. Miranda and I, we made a promise to ourselves that this was not going to interfere with Soul Sisters Paranormal or with Ghost Biker Explorations. And that's something that we committed to. So I do get to investigate. So my sister and I, we just investigated Hillview Manor. Up in
Oh,
Pennsylvania. We did that last month. Miranda will be doing Ghost Biker Exploration here in October. So she releases all of her episodes in October. So she's going to be off doing that, and I'll take care of the bulk of the jail. But we were very committed to that fact that this is our business, but we're not going to let our paranormal interests slide.
right.
Right.
That's awesome.
So
That's
what do you
great.
do besides the paranormal?
Well, it's usually come here, deal with the paranormal, go home and mow my grass and sleep. So
There you go. You see, people, these, paranormal people are normal people too. I mean, this isn't,
oh yeah,
this
yeah,
isn't our whole lives. I mean, it's something that it's just a part of us.
right.
But yeah,
No, I mean, both Miranda and I, we love to ride motorcycles. Obviously, she's Ghost
Oh, I
Biker.
didn't know you ride too.
Mhm. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So we ride motorcycles, and so that's always fun here in Tennessee. Just going out and just living life, really. I mean, we both have different
right.
hobbies that we enjoy, most of the time we're here either doing day tours, doing after dark tours, and stuff like that, especially with rugby. So now that we have two, we kind of divide and conquer, but we still have lives that we live, so that's good.
Nice. Yeah, Kelly, you're gonna have to go ride your bike.
I gotta go ride my bike with them. That's all there is
Hey,
to
there
it.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 2015 Heritage Softail.
Oh,
Classic.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miranda has a
Her
Sportster, and I've got a Goldwing.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, my
Nice.
my best friend who rides with me in spirit every time I'm on my bike rode a Goldwing. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and it was
Wow.
gold. Yeah.
yeah. Mine's
Nice.
I think the official color is root beer, so
Now
it's
I'm
got
getting
a
a little
really
tear in
Nice.
my eye. Yeah,
Nice.
mine's named Freedom, and she's a dirty girl, so I'm getting
See,
crap from my mentor because she's starting to get a little too dirty.
Oh,
yeah. See, you guys can talk about bikes, and I don't ride bikes. I always wanted to, but it's just number one. And when I was growing up, my mother said absolutely not, and then
mhm.
like my wife now said absolutely not.
Well,
So it's like
nobody
I can't
no
win.
nobody ever looked at me as riding a bike. So it
Mhm.
was never
Yeah.
talked about with me. And
Right. Right.
and I came and I rode with Jim one time and he's like, "You really need to get your own bike." And I'm like, "Hmm, yeah, I could do that."
Mhm.
So I did. So I've only been riding for about 2 years. So,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
yeah, but it's a blast.
it
It's
is.
really a lot of fun.
It is. It's a lot different. I lived out in Colorado for a while, and when I moved out there, I said, okay, it's too gorgeous. I either need to get a convertible or I need to learn how to ride a motorcycle. So I went with
Mhm.
motorcycle. And
Right.
I'd never been on a motorcycle in my life, so I went and took the Harley class. And hour one of day one, I don't know how I did it. I ended up flipping the bike,
How
and
the
Oh.
heck do you how do you
I
flip
flipped
a
it
bike?
and it cracked the gas tank. Gas went everywhere. I ended up breaking 3 ribs. And so they said, you can either tap out now and do this again, or you can continue on. So I continued on. And so I took the class.
Take me up. I'm going in.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And so after that, I was like, I did my damage on day one, hour one, and so now I'm hooked. So I've been riding ever since.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to go through those bumps, literally.
Yeah. So now you know you need to stay upright.
I gotta
So
knock on
Yeah.
woods because I get tired and it gets a little bit hard for me to keep the bike up. I pulled into a gas station and proceeded to put it on its side.
oh, I mean, who doesn't? I
Yeah,
mean, you got to. It's a rite
yeah,
of passage, Kelly.
it's
So
a
no
rite of
worries.
passage. I know.
Everybody does it.
I know.
Right. Right.
She's got
So
scratches on her from the first time.
yeah. So tell us a little bit about actually when you started investigating and you started to really kind of tap into some of this investigative style and this and that. Um, what tool did you find that worked best for you when you first started?
Honestly,
Good
for us,
question.
yeah, honestly, for us, the voice recorders. If
Hmm.
somebody were to say, if you could only take one tool with you, it's going to be the voice recorder.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, when we go into a location, we always scout it out during the day first to try to identify where environmental pollutions are going to come from, not noise
Hmm.
pollution, light pollution, all of that. So we really try to control the environment as much as we can when we go to these locations. And when we do that, we can find anomalies that we can sometimes explain away.
Hmm.
But when I've got a male's voice in a location where I know there's only 3 females, I can't explain that.
Right.
When I've got a child's voice, saying full sentences in a location where I know that there's absolutely no children within 50 miles, I mean, there's no way I can explain that.
Right. Right.
So the voice recorder is definitely something that it's on recording from the moment we step over the threshold to when we put the luggage back in the car. Um,
Right.
we also use the K2s a lot, as well as the Spirit Box. Obviously, we have REM pods and stuff like that as well. For us, if we can go to a location where we can have multiple things happen, and multiple pieces of equipment validating every other piece of equipment, that to us is
Hmm.
a great
Hmm.
investigation.
Right.
The
Right.
one there's a couple that we've had, the old Gilchrist County Jail in Trenton, Florida, the Grand Old Lady Hotel in Balsam, North Carolina. These were great locations because it did just that. We have the REM pod going off and the EDI box being touched the same time we're seeing a figure on the SLS camera reach out and touch those items.
Hmm.
And so when we can do that, when we can couple multiple pieces of equipment together. But to answer your question very long-windedly, it's the voice recorders.
Nice. Nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I could
And
sit for hours and listen to you.
yeah, I mean, and that is probably one of the one of the most daunting things to do is go through voice recorders.
Oh, it is.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
I found a
I,
really quick and easy way to do it. I'm listening to voice recorders as I'm studying, so it's just
Mhm.
it's like white noise in the background, and then all of a sudden you
right,
get the EVP and you go,
Yep.
"Did I
Yeah.
just hear a cow?"
right, yeah,
Yeah,
right,
and that's
right,
exactly.
yeah,
So I read a lot, so I'll just put the headphones on and just sit and read. And it's all white noise. And then to
Yeah.
your point, I mean, you pick up those EVPs, even if it's a
Mhm.
whisper. It's just
Yeah.
that change in the white noise,
Mhm.
even if it's subtle, you pick it
hmm
up so quick. And but to your point, Jay, it is something that is extremely daunting. And for us, we don't use any type of software to run through it quickly. We listen to it as we recorded it. So if we've got
right.
10 voice recorders running for 10 hours, we're going through 100 hours of audio.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah,
with same
yeah.
thing with our night vision cameras. We
Mhm.
watch it, as it was recorded, and that's for us is just kind of remaining true to the investigation. And
hmm
the first couple of investigations, I did run it through a software, the audio portion of it,
hmm
and I found that even though I did it, I went back and listened to it behind it, and it was missing things,
It was
right?
missing
So,
things,
so some of
exactly, yeah.
the like the haze or something like
Mhm.
that, it
hmm
misses. It doesn't show up, and those to me are some of the most fascinating, right?
Right.
Right,
So I figured I was like, this is if I'm going to lose evidence, then it's not worth it to me. So
Right.
it has just
right,
become our
right,
thing. We just listen to it in the raw.
Yeah,
right,
I listen to it in the raw, and then I take the clips out, and if I have to, I boost the audio on it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I don't clean them up. I
No,
just
neither do
boost the
we.
audio. That's all I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just
right,
enhanced the audio. Yeah.
Mhm.
right, right. I think
Yeah.
that there's still some stuff that I have to go through.
So
Yeah,
so
I
I
mean, it's just
is there a new location you're getting ready to open up?
We not open up. No,
Oh,
we're in
okay.
talks with other locations, but we're not opening up one
Oh, okay.
in the future right now. We're this the we open rugby in the end of May, 1st of June. So we're still kind of what we call soft launch. So we have very good reception because we have two tours there, the Haunted Village Lantern Tour and the North Village and Cemetery Tour. So we're still in our soft launch on that. So next year we'll really roll out hard and heavy with promotion on that. But and so we're still trying to work out all the bugs on that one.
Oh,
So
that's great.
opening another location right now, you would probably find me in some type of an asylum rocking.
so. How many people are on your team?
So we started as a group of five. It was myself, my twin sister, our younger sister, and two female family friends. And so we did that until really about 2017, 2018. And then, Kim had a grandbaby, Michelle had to move, Cara got a promotion. So at that point, some of our investigation became a mishmash. It was either my twin and I, Jenny, and Michelle or Cara. And then during COVID, when they really couldn't travel, it was just Jenny and I who could travel more frequently. So during COVID, Jenny and I, my twin, we started just doing the investigations on our own. So
Hmm.
currently, it's just the two of us.
Oh,
Oh
that's
wow.
nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So have you ever utilized any mediums?
We have not. It's just really just getting our travel schedules is hard enough. Trying to throw
hmm
in an unknown into the mix is just it's something that it to me sounds daunting. So we have
hmm
not used a medium. That's not to say that I wouldn't at some point, but we just haven't done that.
Yeah, the only reason why I ask is just because the fact that at times I've been tapped to do investigations via the internet,
Mhm.
and I have done a couple for some people that have, even though I couldn't be there personally, could still do it, via the internet, and had some great results. And I've always offered my services for that, and it's an exciting venture to be able to do that. And I didn't really hit on it until about a year ago, and I kind of did it by accident. And then somebody said, "You should do this all the time because you helped us out a lot."
Well, that's
And it's
cool.
like, yeah, so um, being a medium and doing stuff like that and talking with other paranormal people, I'm always curious to see if some people use mediums or if some people don't use mediums, and it's kind of a 50-50. Not
Mhm.
everybody or every paranormal team, either believes in mediums or uses mediums, but the most do. But it's kind of interesting to see that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And lately, I think that the medium surge has gone kind of through the roof. I mean, some of
Mhm.
these mediums that I've seen they're coming out of the woodwork that I've never even heard of, and
Mhm.
same with paranormal investigators. I mean, and teams. I mean, it just seems like in the last, I don't know, I say 5 years, I think that it's just been this surge of this paranormal activity, like these in the field, is the groups and all that. I mean, I think it's just been, kind of amazing, so
And I think social media, to your point, Jay, I think social media obviously
yeah.
has a lot to do with that.
Hmm.
You see all these other teams, and they're young teams that are coming in. I think the draw of TikTok and Instagram and these
Hmm.
instant gratification type of lives that you can do at these haunted locations. When I'm always asked, what do you tell a paranormal investigator who's just starting out? The first thing that I say is make sure you're going into this with the right intentions, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
This is it.
Exactly.
This isn't something that you go into a cemetery on a Friday night to get a jump scare.
Mhm.
That's not what this is about.
Mm.
But I think in this instant age of self promotion and instant gratification, I think that social media has really allowed those type of individuals who want to do that
Hmm.
to get a lot of recognition for it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not disparaging those people. If that's what they
Right, right.
and that's
Well,
how they want to investigate, that's
yeah.
great. But it's just not something that I subscribe to.
Well, there's
Right,
also
right.
there's the thing to think about too is that if you're running a paranormal team and you've taken it seriously, it is a business. It is a
Oh, sure.
job. And it does involve promotion, but it does not involve promotion to where you're taking away from a location or you're taking
Mhm.
away from other people, or it's like, here I am, this is what I do, you know.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And to follow that through a little bit further, it is, to your point, it is a business. I own my
Mhm.
trademark, right? I pay for the
I am
trademark.
my trademark.
Yep,
Mhm.
I own my
Hmm.
trademark. I bought our theme song. I had it commissioned. Our logo, I had it commissioned. Everything that we do is self-funded. On the flip side of that, my YouTube channel is non-monetized for the very
Hmm.
reason that I don't want people to say you're monetizing this because you want likes and subscribes. Therefore, you're creating evidence
Right.
to get those likes and subscribes. So
Right.
Hmm.
even though we're self-funded, the only revenue that we get from it is we sell the occasional T-shirt.
Mhm.
But
Right,
otherwise, that's
right.
not for us. That's not what this was about. Our
Hmm.
entire goal, as I said from the beginning, with this is to go out and have a very tactile experience with these historic locations and bring our audience with us. Those
Mhm.
that might not be able to get to Brushy Mountain or to Lizzie Borden or the Villisca Axe Murder House, they can see what it's like and how we do our investigations.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
So even though we're self-promoting to the extent that we want people to watch our videos,
Mhm.
we're not self-promoting to the extent that we want them to fund us. And
Right.
Right.
that's the
Hmm.
difference. And if you go to any other paranormal team, a reputable, in my mind, again, reputable paranormal team, that's how they operate as well. This
Mhm.
isn't about money for them, but then you
Mhm.
have those that subscribe to a more instant, like I said, instant gratification, instant live. And that's why those that do those type of investigations, i.e. TikTokers or Instagrammers, they're here for a couple hours, they're in and out, they get some experiences, and then they're gone. There's
Right.
no
Hmm.
historical follow-up. There's no historical narrative that's associated
Mhm.
with it. They
There's
come,
no story behind it.
no,
There's
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 not.
not,
no,
no.
yeah.
And so, it's a very interesting phenomena for us as a location owner, because we do have to weigh the fact that, you've got this YouTuber or a TikToker that has 50 million followers. They want to come in and do your location, but we have to weigh that, right?
Mhm.
Because
Hmm.
do we want that type of exposure? Because
Right,
we've
right.
had numerous ones that'll come in and say, I've got 50 million followers. I can bring you the exposure I want in for free. Like, that's not going to happen, because
Not gonna
your
happen.
your audience are 12 to 15-year-old girls, really. And they're not going to spend money at our location. So we have to weigh that. That's, another thing as a business owner of a location we have to think about. And again, YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagrammers love you all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying for us, it is all, we have to think about it as a business decision when it comes to that.
Right.
Oh, and that's a smart way to do it. I mean, it's not like, everybody in the kitchen sink come in and do this. You know what I mean? So it's, yeah. I mean, but there are so many up, like people that have just came into this, in the paranormal field, and they're doing it for the highs, and they're doing it for the excitement and the
I call them thrill
views, and
seekers.
yeah, basically thrill seekers, which is fine if that's what you're into. That's great, but
don't need you on my team though.
Yeah, on the second hand, I've also seen other people who discredit other teams who are legitimate and who are trying to make it, and discrediting them because of the fact that they're not getting the demonic, or they're not getting this, or so it's almost like in every type of field, it's like the paranormal or even mediumship or whatever, you've got people in there that just want their 5 second of fame, and then they want to be able to, say what they want to say about other people because they're not doing the same thing, and it's just, it's like a poison, and it's just, it sucks.
And it is. And that's why, Jay, not to cut you off, that's why we cut the conversation off before it even starts.
And that's smart.
We have had at least 5 or 6 quote unquote famous TikTokers call us and say, this is what we want to do. This is when we want to come in. We have this many subscribers. That is fantastic. Here's the fee you're going to pay. And if you say one word about something being demonic here, we're done, right? You're going to sign that we can sue you. They never follow up. They have not followed up a phone call with us. They have not booked with us, and that's fine. If that's, then that's telling to me, right? That you're not really in it.
Serious enough.
You're not going to respect the location.
Exactly. If you're already coming in with a preconceived notion that we've got demons in our place, then what is that about?
And that goes back to the intention. And I've always talked about that.
Yeah.
If your intention is pure, right, and true to what you want to do, with in the confines of the history and the respect aspect and everything, then that's fine. But if you come in with that intention of crap, you're gonna get crap. I mean, that's just plain and simple, And I've also said too that, you go into a location and you have that respect for the spirit or the spirits that are there, and you treat them with that respect going into that location, that building or house or what have you. But you got to look at it on the other, the foot on the other, on the shoe on the other foot. What if that spirit? What if you came in, or they came into your house and did that to you? I mean, how would you like that? You know what I mean? So it's just thinking of that aspect of, if you want that done to you, then
right, exactly. Yeah, and again, I'm sorry not to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
That I think that's why Miranda and I work so well together, because we have that same type of philosophy. And I know a lot of people here in the comments that I know personally have the same philosophy, right? You guys, Vicky, Candace, Damien, we all have that same philosophy. And I don't. And for us, it's not that we're coming across as bitchy. That's not what we want to do. But we're the stewards of this location. We are the protectors of the spirits that are here. We talk to them on a daily basis, right? We know them. They know us. We respect them. They respect us. I think that they're happy that we're here, and they're protective of us just as we're protective of them. So it's not that we're coming across saying, oh, YouTubers are bad, TikTokers are bad, or anything like that. That's not our intention. Our intention is to protect the reputation of this building and the spirits that are here.
And the integrity of your location.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that is just the bottom line. I mean, and it, for some of the younger kids and people, that are in this field, don't quite get that.
It's different, right?
Right. And so, like I said before, to each his own. I mean, you do your own thing, but when you go to a location, or any location, if it's owned or not owned, if somebody or whatever, you always have to be respectful to the spirits, no
Oh,
matter what it is.
yeah.
And
And go ahead.
go ahead.
No, and to your point, because you just said the younger generation, and that's something that when we did this study was so fascinating, because when you look at the age group that thinks like us, that is really respectful like that, it is our age group, right?
Mhm.
It's those people that understand the value of preserving history, that understands the value of getting that historical narrative correct. Now, I'm not saying that all generations under us are bad
Right,
and
right.
want to go out and destroy things, because that's not the case. But it is different, right? They're growing up in this social media age. We did not.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we've learned the value of these locations and why it's important to save them. And I
Right.
think that the paranormal investigators that I associate with all have that same mindset. And I think that's why a lot of these locations are very fortunate to have these paranormal investigators go in and put those revenue dollars towards that preservation.
Right.
And to
And they're also putting,
spearhead.
yeah.
And to spearhead the whole, it's there's more, there's force in numbers. I mean, the more that we have that start believing this way and that start following the guidelines, the better we're going to have a response from those historic locations that need to have help, that are looking for help.
Right.
Yeah, it just we had said before, it just goes back with the intention.
I'm intimidated by you, Christy. I just got to say, I'm like,
it's just because I'm in a jail cell with inmates.
oh my god, it's like,
Right.
Orange and stripes here.
Right.
I just look into
the whole time I'm looking at those pants back there, I keep thinking Halloween.
I know.
I
it's funny.
I should wear my jail cell costume when I come up.
It's funny because I chose this color on the platform, orange. I'm like, why did I choose orange? Well, I know now.
So, prison orange.
It was meant to be.
Right. So Kris, what do you have coming up? Is there any paracons you're going to visit soon, or there's some place that you want to tell people where you're going to be?
So we have a lot of stuff that's going on here. Both Miranda and myself, we're going to be representing the jail and our respective teams at different locations and different conferences through October and really rolling into next year. So I'll plug a couple of things for the jail first. We will be this Saturday, we'll be at Haunting at the Hills. We're going to be at the Nashville Expo and Paranormal and Expo Legend, or I can't even think about it right now.
Tennessee Haunts and Legend. Yeah.
Thank you. Expo will be there on the 21st.
I'll be there too.
Great. It will be great to meet you in person.
Yeah.
Let's see. December 9th, I will be at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. It is a fundraiser called Scare Away Cancer. It is a fundraiser for a paranormal investigator who is battling cancer, Rob Klaus. So I'll be there. I will be a speaker at the Women of the Paranormal Celebration Conference that will be taking place in Harriman, Tennessee on March 23rd and March 24th. It'll also be at Brushy Mountain as well. So I'll be there. Miranda, she's going to be representing the jail at some different locations as well. And also Ghost Biker Explorations, it starts here in October, but she's got a lot of different haunted motorcycle rides that she'll be going on. So I highly encourage you to go to the Ghost Biker Explorations Facebook page because she's got a really cool investigation coming up in London, Kentucky.
You got to save that for her because she's going to be on.
Yeah, sorry, I'm plugging that.
You got to save that for her.
All right. So, but as far as Soul Sisters, I am working on, because to your point earlier, Jay, it does take a lot of time to get our investigation footage and all of that gone to go through all of that. So, in the hopper next, I'll be releasing Haunted Hillview Manor documentary, as well as Madison Seminary documentary. And there's a couple more that I'm still working on. So I'm about 4 investigations behind.
Wow.
That's better than me. I just added mine up and I think I've got, hold on, let me look at my list. I've got 10.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to build the team and stuff like that. So everything else is like, ugh.
I mean, you just look down and look back up and all of a sudden we're in September. It's like, when the heck did this happen?
I know. Yeah.
So, but yeah, lots going on here. If you want to follow Soul Sisters Paranormal, our website is www.soulsistersparanormal.com. We're also very active on Facebook under Soul Sisters Paranormal, and our YouTube channel is Soul Sisters Paranormal. For the jail, our website is www.historicscottcodejail.com. And we're also very active on Facebook as well under Historic Scott County Jail.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we want to thank you very much, Kris, for coming on, because this has been a good show, and I'm so glad that you agreed to come on. And
absolutely, thank you for having me.
You know, you could find Kris pretty much everywhere on social media. So, you know, with everything that's been going on, you know, since COVID and all that stuff, and you know, things are starting to get back to normal now, and let's hope that it stays that way, because you know, I want to be able to investigate more. I don't want to be shut down anymore. You know what I mean? So, we want to thank you again, and I want to thank my host Kelly, and thank everybody for tuning in today. And you could find this.
All the comments. Oh my goodness, that was the most active comment list we've had. I love it.
And thank you everybody who takes the time to watch this. I really appreciate it.
And you can find this on YouTube, and we will be on all Facebook platforms. Basically, you can find us on Studio 6 Productions as well as the Cemetery Files page. So you can also find us on Twitter, and you can find us on wherever you get your audio podcasts. And you can
don't forget Ghost Planet.
Yeah, this will be uploaded eventually onto Ghost Planet Network on Roku.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're excited about that. But again, Kris, thank you again for showing up.
And thank you both.
I can't wait to see more of that report that you're working on, and yeah, it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be quite changing in the field. So.
Well, thank you.
I want to kudos to you for that. So thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Kris. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Yeah, it's just been a great show. So I want to say thank you, and everybody have a great Monday afternoon.
Have a great day, guys.